Hello, lovely souls. I hope that you have all had a pleasant week so far. I wanted to come on here to talk about the energies that we have been moving through as a collective and also touch on the archetypes that have been guiding us so far during this Libra season. So, as I've mentioned in the past, at the beginning of the year, I draw archetypes for every season, and we moved into Libra season a couple weeks ago, and the archetypes that have been with us since that point are the shaman and the mountain. So these archetypes are going to be the underlying theme for today's reading, where I'm going to be drawing cards for each, I was going to say zodiac placement, but it's going to be a specific astrological placement, which is Jupiter and or Gemini, because Jupiter began its retrograde cycle yesterday in Gemini, and Jupiter will remain in retrograde until February 4th. So today we're going to be exploring the energies that are going to be surfing for us as a collective and how we can kind of make the best of this transit. Also important to note, Pluto is going to be going direct tomorrow in Capricorn. So we're also going to be touching on what that means for us moving forward. So first things first, as I mentioned, our guiding archetypes for this season are the shaman and the mountain. If you want a closer look at the cards, they are currently pinned in the top of, I don't know how I would describe that, but my pinned posts, I guess. Anyways, they're at the top of my account if you're looking for those cards. So when we think of the shaman and the mountain, if you were to sit with both of these energies for a moment, maybe close your eyes if that feels supportive to you. What comes to mind for you when you think of the shaman? Maybe you start to see certain images in your mind's eye. Or maybe you feel dormant energies begin to stir deep within you. Simply notice how the word shaman makes you feel. Next, I want you to think of the mountain. When you visualize a mountain with its snowy peaks, or maybe its green peaks, if you're thinking of a forest mountain or a jungle mountain, simply notice what sensations begin to move and dance through you as you tap into the energy of the mountain. Simply notice any sensation without judgment. Maybe there's some fear or overwhelm rising in the face of a mountain. Or maybe there's sheer awe, respect, and humility. Whatever it is, trust that it's what you are meant to experience in this moment. It's not good or bad. It just is. As you slowly bring yourself back into this space, breathe in these energies. The energy of the shaman of the mountain. These energies are archetypes, and they live within you. And during this Libra season, these energies are going to be unlocking. Gently bring your awareness back into the space. And whenever you are ready, you can open your eyes. However the shaman and the mountain make you feel during this season is going to be paramount moving forward, given the huge planetary shifts that we have been moving through. So feel free to journal on your experience that you are having today, because it's going to be significant for you moving forward. So the shaman and the mountain are both going to be our backdrop energies as we dive into how Jupiter in Gemini is going to be impacting us for the upcoming months. So Jupiter is a planet that I personally love. It is the planet of expansion, abundance, prosperity, luck, optimism. And when this planetary giant goes retrograde, we are invited to turn inwards, to slow down, and to realize how we have these traits within us already. And these traits are going to show up where we have Gemini in our birth chart. So Gemini, known as the twins, is a very social house. And this is regardless of where Gemini sits in your birth chart. It's going to give you this social flair, this desire to gather information, to learn, and to connect with others. So at this time, though Jupiter is retrograde, it's retrograde in a very social zodiac sign. So we're going to still get this push and pull between wanting to isolate, to reflect, to journal, to question ourselves, but at the same time to go out, be social, and meet other like-minded individuals. And here is the hugest benefit and blessing that Jupiter is going to be bestowing upon us during this transit, is the fact that we're going to be getting these opportunities to connect with like-minded individuals. And these connections might seem to come out of nowhere. And this is going to be Jupiter's blessing for us. But at the same time, we have Jupiter who expands in a mental zodiac sign. So Gemini is a mental energy because it is an air sign. So what does this actually mean for us internally? It means that with Jupiter's support, we're going to be able to really dive into our own mental habits and processes and really expand everything and understand where behavioral patterns are stemming from when it comes to the mind. So if we've been overly self-critical, if we tend to self-sabotage, if we tend to use words we don't mean when we're angry or upset, Jupiter's going to be inviting us to look at this. Can you confirm if you actually want to join the live video or if that was just a typo, Marianne, if you don't mind? Because I don't mind, but I don't want to click it if it was a typo. which is also another energy that we're going to be moving through as a collective. As this energy shift happened yesterday, there was already miscommunications happening. And the biggest theme that was playing out for me was witnessing. It was on purpose. Okay. Let's see. All right, let's see if this wants to work. Okay. I've clicked to accept the request, but it doesn't seem like it wants to go through for some reason. We'll have to sort it out because it doesn't look like it wants to go through, which is unfortunate. But yeah, interestingly enough, as I've sat with this energy, it is kind of giving a Mercury retrograde kind of energy to stuff, but we're having the amplification of Jupiter. So usually during a Mercury retrograde, we can kind of get caught up in the miscommunications that are happening. But with that happening and it being Jupiter energy, everything's being expanded. So we're going to really be able to see, okay, where's this miscommunication happening and what is actually occurring subconsciously as these miscommunications and misunderstandings are happening. Because for me personally, yesterday, I got into an intense conversation with my partner, and as we were talking, I was picking up on the misunderstandings and miscommunications that were occurring, and I chose not to do anything about it in the moment because my own defensive mechanisms were flaring and I was pissed off, I was angry, so I chose to emotionally shut down. And I knew that wasn't the right response, but anger led me there in that moment. So I let things play out. And we kept having this conversation. And eventually I'm like, okay, Leah, you need to move out of this defense mechanism and open up your heart again. So even though I was pissed off, I was angry. I told my partner, I'm pissed off, I'm angry, and here's why. So I vocalized the why, and then I rectified the miscommunications that were happening. I said, when I said this isn't what I meant this to clarify, and then clarified everything else because it was my responsibility. So even though we're talking about Jupiter here, we're talking about Jupiter in a house of communication. So Jupiter is going to expand, and this is to bring healing. He's going to expand our communication channels. And it's to foster more growth, maturation, and self-responsibility. And now I know this sounds like there's Saturn energy coming through. It's not Saturn that's coming through, it's evolved Jupiter energy. Because when we really think about Jupiter, we think about Sagittarius. Sagittarius is a philosopher seeking truth, seeking wisdom above all else. And Jupiter is here to help us gain wisdom when it comes to our communication. But in order to gain that wisdom, we need to have clearer sight. And this is why Jupiter is going to be expanding everything for us. He's going to allow us to see the communication issues we're having in real time and ask, are you going to allow it to keep playing out that way, or are you going to act, change the outcome to open up a different timeline? Because with Jupiter being retrograde in Gemini, as I said, Gemini is a social house. It rules the third house in astrology, and the third house is our local community. So this transit is communal, whether we want it to be or not. And Jupiter is going to be bringing a specific lens to how we communicate and relate to others. And it's going to be in the vision to foster more wisdom for each and every one of us. But here's the thing about Jupiter. Jupiter loves to respect our free will. He is not going to force you to become wise through this transit. You're going to have to choose to want to become that wise man or that wise woman through this transit. And it's understanding that in order to gain that wisdom when it comes to communication, it's going to take hard conversations. It's going to be maybe putting your foot in your mouth. But to be willing to then rectify the situation. If you know you fucked up, it's admitting, hey, I fucked up by saying that. That came out all wrong, or I was pissed off, or I was angry, or I shut down. And I know that that is my work that I need to do to rectify that. And it's going to be about taking ownership when it comes to our communication so we can gain wisdom and self-mastery through this transit. That's going to be the biggest energy we're going to be moving through as a collective. Next, we have Pluto going direct tomorrow in Capricorn. I've already touched on this. I'm not going to go in depth today, but we're going to start to see the energies start to move forward, especially for those of us that have heavy Capricorn placements. So Capricorn Sun, Moon, Rising, Stelliums. Anyone who has a particularly heavy Capricorn placement chart is going to feel a kind of dam opening up tomorrow. And this is because Pluto is moving direct, which means the retrograde portion is coming to an end and the energy can finally start to move forward. It's going to breathe a sigh of relief for everyone. And at the same time, on the public arena, we're going to kind of start to see some solutions and resolutions start to come into play. There's been a lot of shit brought up to the surface, a lot of shadows, but now we're going to start to contemplate, okay, how can we rebuild stuff to be sustainable, to actually be supportive for people? And it's going to take some time before these ideas really take off. These are ideas, exchanges that are probably going to just be happening on the back end. We're not necessarily going to be seeing this on social media or on the news. These are exchanges happening behind closed doors for now to give this healing enough momentum to eventually take off in the public sphere. But just know there's going to be a huge energetic shift happening tomorrow, in addition to the one we went through yesterday. So with that being said, I wanted to come on here to draw cards based on Jupiter/Gemini placements to kind of give you insights as to how you're going to be experiencing this energy personally. So without further ado, the way I'm going to do this is if you have Jupiter in the first house and or Gemini, whichever resonates for you, we're going to start there and then just move through having Jupiter in the different houses and or Gemini. So again, you have free will. Take this how it resonates and leave the rest behind. If it doesn't fit, it's probably not meant for you, and that's okay. So with today's reading, and it's really interesting, really brief side note. So I've been reading Solomon's Angels by Doreen Virtue, and I've really been enjoying this book. That's another energy that's been really alive and present for me, is returning to what brings me pleasure, and it's reading. So I've been allowing myself to do that a lot more because it just brings me so much joy. And the angels that are referred to are Archangel Michael and Archangel Metatron. And as I was speaking with these angels earlier today, they're like, you haven't used our oracle deck in ages. And I'm like, but I'm not even that familiar with your energies yet. And they're like, it doesn't matter. So with that being said, we're going to be using the Angels of Atlantis oracle cards today. And we're also going to be using the Healing Energy oracles. And this is because of the synchronicity between this deck and the book I'm currently reading. Like, just look at these colors. They're the exact same. So, brief segue before I get into the reading. That's the other thing I've been allowing myself to do and simply notice more is the synchronicities, and to just act on those. For me, the synchronicities have been coming in twos. So I know as soon as I see something twice, it's confirmation that I'm on the right path. So another kind of tidbit, if you will, or insight in regards to Jupiter being in Gemini in retrograde is to pay attention to synchronicities and the specific language that the universe is going to be taking to speak with you directly. Maybe it's specific animals showing up on your path, or maybe it's seeing a certain number sequence be repeated over and over again. Whatever it is, really start to pay attention to these synchronicities, because these synchronicities are going to start to unlock more of your own innate wisdom and also give you that support and confirmation that you're on the right path. So to really just attune yourself to that, even if it doesn't make any logical sense. All right, so without further ado, we're gonna get into it. So if you have Jupiter or Gemini in the first house, this is going to be your reading. And I completely forgot, I put little papers here with like little blessings in here. So I think I'm also gonna use those today. So let's see, Jupiter and or Gemini in the first house. I'm doing Jupiter placements, not necessarily attached to Gemini, because both those houses are going to be illuminated for you. So if you have, let's say, Jupiter in Virgo, and then you just have Gemini somewhere else, both those houses are going to be working together. Okay, so for Jupiter and or Gemini in the first house, we have Zavkyle romance. And then we also have faithfulness. I commit to my mind, heart, and will. I am devoted to the needs of my soul. I trust in myself, in God, and the universe. So this is really interesting for those of you that have this placement, or for who this resonates, because already based on the colors, we're getting strong root chakra, sacral chakra, as well as some solar plexus chakra energy coming through. So this transit is going to be revitalizing these lower chakras for you during the next couple months. And it's really interesting because there's something significant about your birth here. The first kind of insight that came through as I was looking at this card is the two candles here and this spark. So to me, this as a whole is representing divine union, the union between divine masculine, divine feminine, to come together to create a portal in which a new soul can be birthed. So maybe some of you that have this placement have been thinking about conceiving or having a child, but there's something significant here. And if this resonates, you've been thinking about conceiving a child, there needs to be more sacredness attached to your intention and desire to conceive. I'm getting the strong message of even creating an altar, if that resonates for you, to just really create a sacred space where maybe you go and you meditate by this space, or maybe you engage in prayer. Whatever this is, there needs to be a whole kind of sacred space set up for this energy to be called into. Others of you that aren't contemplating bringing in a soul into this world, this has to do with your own birth, the union between your own parents here, and to really kind of contemplate and reflect on that, because you're going to be getting deeper, richer insights when it comes to your bloodline. Maybe dormant gifts are going to come back online, or maybe you're going to discover something about your family line that you never knew about, and it's going to awaken something even deeper within you. And then we have faithfulness. I commit to my mind, heart, and will. I am devoted to the needs of my soul. I trust in myself, in God, and the universe. So this energy here ties in to this energy over here about conception and conceiving a child, and or going back and reflecting upon your own birth, and how there's a need to put your own needs first, but trusting in the universe as you do so. So again, with that theme of trying to conceive a child, it's trusting the universe's timing when it comes to this, and really cultivating this beautiful, safe, and sacred space within yourself. For some of you engaging in personal romance is going to be supportive. So really romanticizing your own life, taking yourself out on dates, because don't forget, we're currently in the first house. The first house is your house of self. So I'm hearing in particular with this specific card, for a lot of women that want to get pregnant, there's a need to rekindle this spark within yourself, to make yourself feel beautiful, to feel desirable, to feel attractive. As you focus on these energies during this transit, conceiving is going to be effortless. You're not even going to have to think about it, because with us being in the house of Gemini right now, there's a possibility that you might be overthinking this process and really getting in your head about it. And the universe is saying, let go and let God. So there's a need to just really release this energy where you might have been trying to force things and push through things. And though I've been getting the image and sensation of conceiving a physical child, this could also be a project. This could be a business that you are kind of hammering your head against the wall, trying to resolve and kickstart. And the universe is coming through to say, let it go. Romanticize your life, go out, do something that is pleasurable for yourself. And it's going to create itself simply because you are engaging in more pleasure, in more fun, and in more passion. Because whatever this is, it is blessed by the divine up here. So even though it's taking time for this to be created and conceived, it's yours by birthright, and it is going to come. And having the same colors play out over here is confirmation that it is yours. But you need to trust and wait for the divine's timing to deliver this to you. I'm also seeing these other stars here. These are spirit guides, and I'm sensing that they are angelic presence. So for those of you that want to connect with angels, opening yourself up and asking the angels to come forward and identify themselves is also going to feel supportive for you at this time. Leaning on them, speaking to them, letting them know what your frustrations, your worries are, and allowing them to alleviate them for you is going to be beneficial for you. You might even find that Zavkael is one of the angels that is currently working with you to help you manifest whatever this is. So that's the main message that's coming through for this placement. For a select few, it is a romantic partner that's going to be coming into your life, but that's not the predominant message that I'm picking up. It's mainly to do with conceiving a physical child or conceiving a project, and that it is going to come to fruition. But to be patient and to just trust and to just really create a sacred space for yourself. I almost forgot about the extra little blessing here. Let's see. Let me flip these over so I can't see what they are. Just give these a little shake and see what we got. All right. We have love, which is super cute. So for those of you needing that additional confirmation, if this is about love or romance, here we go. We have love coming out, and I'm sensing that it's more so love for yourself. So if you've found it difficult to love yourself, to be romantic, and to demonstrate self-care towards yourself, that's going to improve over the upcoming months. And it's understanding that it's going to be effortless improvement. You're not going to have to go out and try to do these things. It's just going to naturally develop because Jupiter is going to be expanding the necessary space within you to be able to cultivate these supportive energies. All right, so we are now going to move into Jupiter and or Gemini in the second house. And I'd also like to take this time to remind everyone that you are not limited by your birth chart either. Even though I read based on birth charts, if I read a certain message, regardless of you having this placement, if it resonates, it's meant for you. Okay, so we have Shamael, beginnings. And then we have listen to life. I am attentive to the world around me. Signs and symbols guide me to success. I listen and discover the way to the eternal. And it's interesting because we're also kind of getting confirmation with this card too. Because even though this card's primarily blue, we are getting that same shade of purple in the middle here that we have over here. I'm happy to hear it's resonating. And it's interesting because as I look at these cards, there's a person standing over here. But then I also kind of sense there's a person over here. And over here it feels like a physical person, whereas here it feels like an intangible person. So this could be an ancestor coming through. This could be a passed over loved one also coming for a visit to say hello. And whoever this person was someone who either emanated and held a lot of love, if they're an ancestor, that's further up your bloodline, or if this is a recent crossed over loved one, they held a lot of love and really embodied the frequency of unconditional love while they were alive. And that whenever you're having an off day and you just feel this kind of warm energy come over you, it is this specific loved one sending you love from the other side. I'm getting a female energy primarily from this card, but it could be a male passed on loved one as well. Okay. So for those of you that have this placement, there's a need to listen and to be more attentive. And I know it's hard because if you have Jupiter and or Gemini in this house, Jupiter amplifies and expands. And if you have Gemini, Gemini rules the mind. So being an air sign. So there's a tendency to overthink and to just be indulged in mind chatter. And there's a need to just quiet down so that we can listen and be attentive. And with the imagery on this card, going to the beach or anywhere where there's sand and water is going to be supportive for you at this time, because I'm sensing that there's a huge download that wants to come through, but your mind is overly busy. So this download is being delayed. It's not denied, it's simply delayed right now. And if you can go anywhere where you can walk on the sand, preferably barefoot. I mean, if you're living where I live, it's gotten kind of cold to do this. But if you can't physically do this, visualize yourself doing it. Or even if you can just get your hands on some sand, somehow it's going to be beneficial, because for some reason, and this is a really specific message that's coming through, some of you, and it's a select few of you, have past lives connected to sand. And it might have been countries where there was an abundance of sand. So there's something about physically touching sand during this transit that's going to help activate this new beginning that wants to come through. So even if you just go to like a kid's playground and pick up sand in your hands and just hold it for a little bit and then just rub it on your hands, there's something that's going to be activating within your DNA and sacred remembrance. And you might actually hear a voice come through while you're doing that. And I'm definitely hearing that it is the angelic realm that wants to come through. So a certain archangel might make themselves known to you. We do have Shamael here, but it could very well be another archangel that comes through. So to just open yourself up to receiving the sacred guidance. And I don't know if you want to Google sand, and if sand is associated with any angel of any kind, that might actually be supportive for you at this time. Because it's interesting, as I focus on the energy of beginnings, I'm sensing that there's something huge that wants to come in, but there's not enough space for it just yet. So that space needs to be created. Let's see. So the other thing that's standing out to me is I listen and discover the way to the eternal. So for some of you, and this is a select few of you, really focusing in on your spiritual practices is going to be supportive for you during this transit. Really shutting out what others are saying, especially if they don't walk a path similar to yours, shutting out their opinions and really focusing on the voice of the divine is going to be supportive for you. That sounds awesome. You're lucky to live by a lake. That sounds amazing. Yeah, well, enjoy. You'll have to let me know if anything comes through for you while you walk there. For a lot of you that have this placement and for who this resonates, you are meant to walk a very sacred path. And it's interesting because we have a being here just walking on this sand, and look at all this magic, this ethereal energy around this person. So for a lot of you that have this placement, you're not meant to walk a conventional path, and you might be feeling a little down on yourself, second guessing walking this path, but this is yours. And it's in accepting that it is not going to be for everyone to understand you in this lifetime. As long as you understand yourself, you trust the divine, this path is going to naturally unfold for you without you having to put in much effort, because I'm getting that for a select few of you, you're kind of hammering your head against the wall, being like, what is my path? Why am I here? What's my purpose? What's the point of me, my business, what have you? And you're meant to walk this path. And no, it's not always going to make any sense, but you're meant to continue walking, having trust and faith in the divine, that you are well protected and surrounded. And even as we look at this, like this looks like a very sacred place. Like just look at this card. And it's interesting because we have all elements present. We have earth through the sand. We have fire with the sun there. We have water. We have air. We have spirit as well. So this is a combination of the five here, which is very sacred indeed for those of you that have this placement or for who this resonates. And you're going to have to listen to your life. You're going to have to tune in and listen to that subtle voice that's guiding your steps, and shut out the loud ones of society, maybe friends and family that are trying to, I'm going to say manipulate, because they don't understand, they don't see, they don't have your foresight, they don't have your vision, they don't have your gifts or your abilities. So by default, they're not going to understand the steps you need to take. But deep down, your heart and your soul knows the steps you need to take. And even if you can't see, you're still going to take off. Whatever your path, your purpose, you have one. And it's going to naturally unfold, but you need to take it one step at a time. Even if that step is taken while being blindfolded. The divine is with you every step of the way, guiding every step you take. And it's been that way ever since you were born. So trust and keep the faith and take it one step at a time, and block out any voice that's trying to bring you down or manipulate you or force you to do things you don't want to do. You are meant to listen to one voice and one voice alone, and that is the divine that resides within you. All right. Well, that was an intense message for those of you that have Jupiter in the second house and or Gemini. Let's see what other mysterious blessing wants to come through. Ooh, we have surprise. Which, I mean, I think like kind of just really goes really well with this card. Like if this card I were to attribute like any other word to it, it would be surprise. You might have no idea what's going on in your life, but just know the universe really wants to surprise you, and that your whole life is going to have been a surprise. I'm also hearing miracle. So let go, trust, take it one step at a time, and you're going to be receiving surprises. All right, so we're now going to be moving into Gemini in the 3rd house and or Jupiter in this house. So let's see. I'm getting the keywords of our guiding archetypes, shaman and the mountain coming through. So that might be confirmation or significant for some of you here. Ooh, we have Michael, patience. And we have divine light. I am an expression of love and I shine like the sun. My inner light is my strength and my treasure. My intuition guides me to discover the wonder and goodness of who I am. So for a lot of you that have this placement, you're going to be entering upon a self-exploration journey. But this journey is going to be requiring a lot of patience. And I'm also getting the sense that some of you might actually be traveling during this transit and going to sacred sites. Some of you might even be visiting the pyramids, which sounds freaking amazing to me. But Michael is here to remind you that things are going to unfold as you practice patience. And then we have divine light. I'm an expression of love and I shine like the sun. So we're getting from this card alone, a lot of solar plexus activations are going to be happening during this transit. So you might be feeling discomfort around solar plexus area, which is right above your navel. If you are worried that something is medically wrong, please go see the appropriate professional. But huge solar plexus activations. And it's interesting because we have the yellow here, but then we also have orange in the background. So again, this energy, this activation that's going to be taking place, you might primarily feel it right above your navel, but you might also feel it below your navel where your sacral chakra is dwelling. Because I'm kind of getting the sense that there's going to be a huge energetic purge taking place within your solar plexus, but that purge is going to go down into your sacral as well. Kind of really pushing out this energy. And it's interesting because as we look at this card, there's darkness in the top corner parts here, yet pure light radiating down the center. So for a lot of you, more of your light is going to be coming online during this transit. You might go through a huge energetic purge where you actually feel this light just burst out of you. And it's understanding that this activation is a divine sequencing that your soul signed up for. So though this might be intense and very uncomfortable for your physical vessel, your soul signed up to go through this energetic purge during this transit. And that it's going to set you on the right path moving forward. But as this purge is taking place, Michael is going to be encouraging you to practice patience. You might find that during this transit, you're more in hermit mode. You might not feel like doing too much, and that's okay. It's because a lot is going to be going on at an energetic level for you. You're being recalibrated. And it's interesting, as much as we're talking about the solar plexus chakra, we also have that bright purple and indigo color with the Archangel Michael card coming out. So there's going to be activations happening within your lower chakras, but then we're also going to be seeing activations happening within your higher chakras, your third eye, and your crown. And these activations is Archangel Michael. He's going to be facilitating these. So if you haven't worked with him before, this is him reaching out. But again, like all angels, he respects your free will. If you do not call upon him, he's not going to come and help you out and provide assistance. If you speak to him and open up that dialogue, he will help you, especially if this activation and this purge happens to be very difficult, you might find yourself literally releasing, he can help alleviate some of that difficulty and that tension and provide relief. But you will need to ask him personally for assistance. I'm also getting dream time activations. So for those of you that don't keep a dream journal, starting one today and starting to pay attention to your dreams during this transit is going to be very beneficial. And even if you don't remember your dreams, start by writing how you feel when you first wake up. What emotions are present? What thoughts are present when you first wake up? Because Michael is going to start communicating with some of you through your dream time. And he does tend to be direct. So if you're feeling unclear about what the message is, chances are it's not from Michael himself, because yes, he's very direct in his methods of communication. I'm also getting that some of you are going to be traveling during this transit. So as I said, Jupiter is retrograde, having started yesterday until February 4th. So some of you might be traveling between now until February 4th. And wherever you travel to is going to be significant for these activations. And it's interesting, as I just said that, a raven just flew overhead. So extra confirmation for you. For some of you that might not travel during this transit, it's going to be about traveling inwards, practicing meditation. My inner light is my strength and my treasure. So it's going to be about you really tapping into the solar plexus energy and really cultivating self-confidence and self-esteem, because that's what the solar plexus rules within us. So if you find your confidence or self-esteem has been wilting or hasn't been strong enough, it's because this specific chakra needs attuning. And for those of you that feel confident and have healthy self-esteem, it's going to be about really integrating those frequencies and starting to embody them. And as you embody them, you're going to be called to display them in social settings. And I'm kind of getting this mixed energy of you feel confident and secure in private, but then kind of second guess yourself when it comes to social situations. So if this is you and this resonates, it's about shielding your energy when it comes to being around others. So this is your confidence and self-esteem over here. And if you feel it tends to dwindle in the face of others, there's protection that needs to be put in place. And what I like to do, crowds tend to really drain my energy and set me off because I feel myself kind of absorbing what other people are feeling. I usually cloak myself in golden light. If I know I'm going to be out in a public place and I don't want to be feeling what other people are feeling or taking on their thoughts, I call in a golden light and encircle my energy with it. I'm happy to hear that it resonates. But yes, really cloaking yourself with protection. As I said, for me, it's golden light. For others of you, you have Archangel Michael here. Archangel Michael is the archangel of divine protection. So even calling upon him to shield you in blue energy, because blue is his color, is going to be helpful for you. So you can maintain this light in social settings. And I kind of love looking at the cards like this too. So it's like we see you here as this bright badass over here, but then in the background we see Michael's energy. So it's like you're highly protected as you step into being this bright and beautiful light that you are. And I absolutely love that. So a lot of energetic movement for Jupiter in the third house and or Gemini. More light is going to be streaming in and more patience is going to be required from you. that's all I'm getting for that placement. Feel free to let me know how that's landing or not landing. And before we close up this reading, we're going to pick a little blessing here. So let's see. Ooh, we have visit. So I'm getting either relatives coming to visit or you going to visit relatives, but I'm mainly sensing relatives coming to visit. These could be friends, but I'm mainly picking up on relatives coming for a spontaneous last minute visit. All right. So we're now going to move into Gemini in the 4th house and or Jupiter in this house. So let's see here. Ooh, we have Gabriel, benediction. And we have wisdom. God has a plan for me. I live here now knowing beauty is to come. I don't force things to happen faster than the universe has decided for me. I learn from my experiences, take small steps in faith, and succeed, thanks to all of my efforts. I love this message, and it really resonates for me personally as well. And already, right out of the gate, we have this double confirmation with the colors happening on both of these cards. So we have benediction and we have wisdom. So for those of you that have this placement, there's definitely going to be a re-up on wisdom coming through. If there's certain cycles that you find yourself repeating, you're going to be closing them out during this transit. You're going to be getting to the bottom of them and really healing whatever is triggering this defense mechanism. Or maybe there's addiction, or maybe there's a certain thought pattern that you're like, I know it's not good. I've tried everything to break it. It's just not breaking. It's going to break during this transit. And this is going to be a divine blessing being bestowed upon you. And I'm picking up on a select few of you. This isn't going to resonate for all of you, but a select few of you had past lives where you were priests and priestesses. And this is why the divine is coming through to personally bless you and clear out that mental loop. So whatever that mental loop is about, give it to the divine, give it to Archangel Gabriel, and ask that she clears it out. And I know it's like debated if Gabriel is a male or female. I don't think it really matters. For me, I always picked up more of a female energy, but again, it doesn't really matter. Whatever feels more comfortable and supportive for you, but any worries and stresses about the mental processes that are keeping you looped and maybe borderline depressive, talk to Archangel Gabriel. I love that they present as both. Yeah, well, that's exactly it. You know, it depends what kind of energy needs to come through. And yeah, brief segue, you know, like when it comes to angels and archangels, like they're going to present exactly how we personally need them to present. And I know people start debating what they look like, what gender they might be. I'm like, at the end of the day, it fucking doesn't matter. They're going to take on the shape they need to get through to you personally. But yeah, huge kind of blessing coming through for Gemini in the 4th house and or Jupiter being here. And it's going to require a re-up on your faith, because the first sentence is, God has a plan for me. So with the blue hues here, I'm picking up very much that some of you might have been struggling with depression. And it's understanding that for those of you that have been experiencing this, mental health might be a big part of your path. And it's an understanding that we always walk through the hardship or the struggle first before we can then assist others. And it's understanding that the specific hardship or struggle that you have chosen to go through, it is to help others going through a similar situation. And again, has all been crafted at the soul level. So I'm definitely picking up mental health challenges with this placement, but it's knowing that you are one of the divine's chosen ones to help others with this struggle and challenge, and knowing that you will not succumb to it. You have angelic protection coming through very, very strongly. I wouldn't be surprised if you have multiple angels around you, keeping you safe, even when you have moments of deep despair or you feel like giving up. Maybe you just fall to your knees and really have a serious breakdown, being like, when are things going to get better? They are going to improve, but they require you to have faith. They require you to actually open up your channel, because that's the thing. A lot of you were priests and priestesses in past lives, and for some of you, you were too advanced for the time period in which you incarnated, so things didn't go over well for you. But it's understanding that they are going to go over for you. They are going to go over well for you in this life. And it's interesting because we have a hand here with this sphere, and then we have a light shining down. So this could be your own hand reaching for the divine, and it's activating what could be your hand chakras. So we do have chakras in our hands. So for some of you, being able to facilitate healing with your hands is part of your path. And I'm also hearing that some of you are going through waves of depression because you are refusing the call, which is to step in and be a healer, whatever that means to you. And a lot of you, you're meant to heal and use your hands. That's a big part of your path. That's why we're seeing this white light coming through to really cleanse your hands. And it's understanding that healing with the hands, it doesn't necessarily need to mean laying physical hands on someone. It can be writing. It can be creating artwork. It could be channeling light language, if that resonates to you. Whatever it is, it has to do with your hands, and they're being purified by the angels, Archangel Gabriel in specific. And Archangel Gabriel rules communication. She helps writers, she helps speakers. So for some of you, it has to do with communication and using your hands to do so. I don't force things to happen faster than the universe has decided for me. For my writers in the house, if there's something you are trying to write and publish, you can't force it. I know there's so many ads out there being like, write a book in 10 days and have it published and shit like that. You are going to be crafting divine work, and divine work cannot be put on a time schedule. It is crafted by the divine itself, and they will guide you when it comes to the publication date, when it comes to sitting down and writing. And all you need to do is trust. Trust that it is your hands that are going to be birthing that project, and allow your faith, allow this innate wisdom to move through you. I learned from my experiences, take small steps in faith and succeed, thanks to all of my efforts. And it's knowing that you are going to know success in this life, but it's going to take some time. And this is because the divine, again, I keep hearing the word chosen. You are chosen to walk a specific path alongside the divine in this life. And with that path comes needing to have immense faith. So if your faith has been waning, there's a re-up that needs to happen. You need to recharge, be in your own energy, do things that you personally enjoy, maybe rest more often, because we're getting this really sensitive blue energy coming through. And it's interesting because blue is usually associated with the throat chakra, but I'm not really picking up throat chakra here. I'm just really feeling the need for comfort. with this color coming through, to just really nurture your own energy and kind of cradle yourself like you would a small child and really look after your own needs. Hello, beautiful. Thank you for joining the space. You really need to nurture your own energy because you are going to be walking a sacred path. Whether you acknowledge it or not, you are a healer, and this is going to be what you're going to be experiencing in this life. And the more you fight it, the more it's going to be a struggle. It's when you release the need to struggle. And I'm kind of also getting the picture of some of you having kind of like these weapons and being like on guard. And the divine is like, what are you doing? I'm going to take care of you, but you need to trust in me. I live here now, knowing beauty is to come. Practicing presence is also going to be very beneficial for you. And being present with whatever comes up for you, if it is depressive or anxious thoughts, simply noticing them, maybe journaling about them and practicing observing where these thoughts are coming from, because I'm feeling the energy being really slowed down in this house. And that's okay. Sometimes the energy needs to be slow. It needs to be slow so that we can recalibrate, catch our breath, and be open to these downloads and these insights. Because divine information often comes in when we're in a state of relaxation, a state of calm. Calmness. That's the word I was looking for. That's radiating from these cards. Being calm is going to really open up your palms, is what I'm getting. And it's going to allow you to cultivate this and cover even more ground than you thought was possible. All right, so that's all I'm getting for Gemini and or Jupiter in the 4th house. Feel free to let me know how that resonates or doesn't resonate. I would love to hear from you. And actually, before I forget, we're going to see what kind of mysterious blessing is coming through for you. So let's see. I'll pick this one. Ooh, we have surprise again coming through for this placement. So I think the divine is just going to deliver a gift to you, and it is going to take you by surprise, and you're going to be like, wow, whatever this was, I thought it was going to be so hard to accomplish, and it really wasn't. And for some of you, it has to do with your writing. All right, so we're now going to move into Gemini and or Jupiter in the 5th house. So if you have this placement or this resonates, this is going to be your reading. Let's see here. Oh, that's too many cards. The self-love card did flip over, but didn't stay, so I did not take that one. So let's see here. Ooh, interesting. Okay, so we have Raziel, retreat. And that card came out in reverse, which is interesting. And then we have the path to light. I make the conscious choice to move towards the light one step at a time. I transform my weaknesses into strengths by mastering my thoughts. I overcome obstacles with positivity and acceptance. I develop my gifts and extend my light to every being unconditionally. And it's interesting because we're also getting confirmation with these cards yet again. We're seeing that blue, and then we're having that blue in the background there. And then we have like this pink hue, and then we have that pink hue down here too. Okay, so for those of you that have this placement or for who it resonates, there's a need to pull back your energy for some time, because I'm sensing that the divine really wants to communicate with you, but that there's too many distractions, too many people around you at this time. Because there is a huge activation that wants to take place here. And I'm not really being shown which chakras these are, but there's going to be 3 to 4 chakras receiving huge activations during this transit. And you're also going to be experiencing an aha moment at some point and having a huge breakthrough. And this realization is going to be significant here. And then with retreat here, for a lot of you, what I'm picking up on is the need to call back your energy from places, situations, and people. And really kind of practice hermit mode for a little bit. Because there's something that's going to radically shift within you, but you need to be in solitude for that shift to occur. For a select few of you, actually going on retreats is going to be supportive and being around other like-minded people. But for the majority of you, it's going to be spending some time alone and actually working with Archangel Raziel as well. And it's interesting because he's being really cryptic about what is coming through for this placement. He's not really divulging too much to me right now. Whereas the other archangels were really talkative, Raziel is being kind of cryptic, not wanting to divulge too much. But I'm kind of getting the sense that you're going to be going through an alchemical process, and that this alchemical process is being facilitated by Raziel. And Raziel, if I'm not mistaken, is the archangel associated with magic and manifestation. So there's a lot of kind of esoteric energy moving about these cards. It is going to be different for each and every one of you. I love that your timing is perfect. But yeah, so Raziel is keeping this information kind of cryptic and hidden from me and isn't divulging too much. And I'm getting the sense it's because he's going to connect with you personally, should you wish him to. And it's going to be about different things. Hang on, I'm just going to reposition myself here. If we look at this card, there's a bunch of different colors and like kind of categories. And it's really interesting because though he's not divulging what this is about, he's telling me that there's going to be different groups and like cohorts. So there's like the pink one here, there's like the brownish one here, there's like the bluish one over here. So kind of 3 different cohorts happening with Raziel here. And he's disclosing that they're going to have to do with different non-mainstream subjects. So for some of you, you might find that has to do with astrology. For others of you, it could have to do with herbal medicine. And for others of you still, it could be working with the angelical realm and really opening yourself up to being able to channel those energies. And he's going to be working intimately with a lot of you in regards to whatever this is. And it's going to be to initiate you onto your own path of light. And he's being very clear and adamant about the fact that the path to light is not the same for everyone. It can be very different for each and every one of us, and that is completely okay. And he's talking to me about how it has to do with our soul imprint and what our soul signed up for, but also the kind of group of souls that our own soul belongs to. So for some of us, our soul belongs to more so the astrology types. For others of us, it's more so the grounding types. So herbalism, plant medicine. For others of us, it's the group of, he's calling divine channels. So being able to hold that frequency of love for others and just really holding that safe space where people can come exactly as they are and receive healing through the frequency of divine love. So we have these different groups of souls that Archangel Raziel is overseeing. So for those of you that have this placement or for who it resonates, it's about really opening yourself up and seeing where Raziel wants to guide you at this time. And wherever he's guiding you to, it's to initiate you onto your own path of light. And it's understanding that he's also going to be offering blessings to those of you that have this placement or for who this resonates. And he's going to really attune your gifts and your abilities. As soon as you tap in and realize, okay, maybe I'm an astrologer, or maybe I'm meant to be a herbalist, or maybe I'm meant to be a divine channeler of love. As soon as you kind of put your focus into what that looks like for you, he's going to amplify your gifts and your abilities. And I wouldn't be surprised if that gift amplification has to do with this breakthrough here. And it's really going to be you breaking through certain barriers. And I'm really curious to know, like, for those of you that this resonates, what that looks like for you. So whenever this happens, like, feel free to reach out, because I would love to know what you're experiencing, because it does sound very powerful, even though it also sounds very cryptic, because Raziel is not disclosing too much. And I'm kind of getting the image from him that this is him here, and how this is all of his domain, and this is what he oversees. So for those of you that feel a specific connection to this archangel, it's because he is overseeing your soul group during this lifetime. All right, let's see if I'm getting anything else. No, so that's pretty much all I'm getting for that placement. And before I close up this reading, a little spontaneous blessing. Let's see here. Ooh, we have visit coming out. I'm getting angelic visit coming through. I'm also getting the sense that he wants me to pick one more. So let's see. Ooh, we have wish fulfillment. So I'm getting the sense that for a lot of you, for who this resonates, and Archangel Raziel is an archangel you've been thinking about for some time, speaking to him and opening yourself up to receiving his guidance is going to lead to a wish fulfillment. All right. So we are now going to move in to Gemini in the 6th house, and or having Jupiter here. Let's see. All right. We have Sans d'Enfant, love. And we have shining light. My desire to improve myself transforms fear into strength. I raise my thoughts above doubt and find faith in the goodness of the universe. I love and accept myself as a soul, and I discover the light that dwells in me. And this card came out in reverse. So the way to your inner light, for those of you that have Gemini in the 6th house and or Jupiter here, is through self-love, with Sans d'Enfant coming out here with love. So if you've been finding it hard for you to really step in to your own inner light, to feel confident and to have self-esteem, your journey begins with love, and where you stand when it comes to loving yourself, taking care of yourself, showing appreciation for yourself. And I'm getting at this time that Sandalphon is granting blessings in wish fulfillments. So if this journey has been difficult for you, if you've found it to be a struggle to practice self-love and self-care, Sandalphon is going to be offering you the opportunity to really kickstart this journey and to begin loving yourself, so that this card that came out in reverse can flip over and you can brightly shine your light. And it's interesting because I'm getting like different images from this card. For some of you, this kind of reversal of light began in the womb, is what I'm sensing, because this looks like, I forget what those are called, like those ultrasound pictures. So this dimming of your light started in the womb. So there might have been issues happening within your mother and father's relationship that kind of caused your mom at some point or another to dim her own light, and that impacted you. And again, this isn't your mom's fault in this day and age. At this point in time, it is your responsibility. So I don't want people turning around being like, oh, it's my mom's fault, what have you. No, as an aware being, it is now your responsibility to rectify these energetic distortions. But I'm picking up that for some of you, this began in the womb, that the light was dimmed. And I wouldn't be surprised if it has to do with love and love between your parents. Maybe your parents separated and this really hurt your mom, and that hurt got passed down to you and caused you to dim your light even before you were physically born. So it's understanding that this is going to take some inner work, but you have angelic support to begin. And that once you begin this journey, you're going to shine so bright. Like, just look at this. And it also kind of looks like a cross. So I wouldn't be surprised if you find that Jesus comes through as one of your guides as well, helping you on this journey. For some of you, shining your light has to do with you speaking more often. As I look at this light, I'm picking up throat chakra activation. So for some of you, there's stuff that you haven't expressed in a while. And this stuff is impacting your solar plexus chakra, which is the chakra responsible for confidence and self-esteem and shining our light. So this impact here has to do with the hurt. I'm picking up on a few of you. It's hurt that your mom went through while she was pregnant with you, and it left some pain in her heart that got passed down to you. So there's some heart chakra healing that needs to happen, and love is in the heart chakra. So during this transit, you're going to be asked to really dive into exploring self-love and healing your heart chakra. And as you begin to heal that heart chakra space, clear out that pain, you're by nature going to shine more, and your solar plexus is going to be coming online again. For some of you, maybe for the very first time. And it's interesting, I'm just noticing now that Archangel Sandalphon here has a heart in the middle of his chest and he's pointing to it. So your journey is your heart. And I love the sentence, my desire to improve myself transforms fear into strength. So for some of you, you're going to be going through a huge transformation. I'm hearing physical for a lot of you. It could be energetical, but I'm picking up it's going to be a huge physical shift and change. And yeah, Sandalphon keeps just like pointing to the heart, being like, this is where you need to start. This is where you need to start. Just repeatedly pointing and reminding us that it's about the heart chakra. And it's interesting because as I look at him even more, not only is he pointing to his heart chakra, but then his other hand is pointing directly up towards this divine light that's just pouring down. So I'm taking that to mean that it's about being in a receptive state when it comes to healing. So what do I mean by that? It means that if you begin the self-love journey, don't be afraid to seek out help and support for yourself. Maybe working with a guide, a healer, a coach, or a therapist, whatever feels supportive for you, but it's going to be a matter of you being in this receptive energy where you are simply willing to listen and receive the advice being given to you. Now, that doesn't mean you need to act on it if it doesn't resonate, but simply being in a state of receptivity is going to help start to shift these energies. Because we talked about there being pain in the heart chakra. The heart chakra has a feminine polarity to it, and receptivity is feminine by nature. So there's healing that will have to happen in regards to the feminine principle for those of you that have this placement or for who this resonates. And this healing is not only going to help your heart, but it's also going to activate your solar plexus and strengthen your root chakra as well. So if other areas of your life have been a challenge, maybe finances have been something that weigh on your mind, beginning this healing journey of removing this pain from your heart chakra is going to help all your lower chakras clear out, activate, and become balanced. And through that balance, it's going to reverberate through your actual life, bringing it all into balance. So interesting, because as I was picking up on wish fulfillments from Sun on Phone coming through, it's going to be more balance in your life, and it's balance achieved through the gateway of love, and it's love of self. I love and accept myself as a soul. So self-acceptance is going to be a big theme for you as well. I discovered the light that dwells in me. Both these cards have a lot of light coming off of them, and this light is present within you, but you need to clear out the gunk. And I'm picking up on the gunk that's still in your heart. For some of you, it has to do with diet. I'm hearing like clogged arteries, so focusing on your health is going to be very beneficial. Maybe cutting down on like the fast food, the junk food, anything that's kind of slowing stuff down and making the energy kind of sluggish around your heart is going to be supportive. So clearing that out so this frequency can take root is going to be beneficial during this transit. All right, so that's all I'm getting for Gemini and or Jupiter in the 6th house. I almost said 5th house again. I mean, I hope we're on the 6th house. All right. And then we have power as your sacred blessing coming through, which I mean is a beautiful way to end the reading for that placement. Power is what's coming through for you, Gemini in the 6th house and or Jupiter. All right. We're now going to move in to Gemini in the 7th house and or Jupiter. So if you have Gemini sitting in this house or Jupiter here, this is going to be your reading. Wow, those cards kind of just flew all over the place. Okay, so with those cards flying all over the place, the first message I'm getting is that there's going to be a lot of opportunities coming your way during this transit, but you're going to have to pick and choose which ones are the most supportive, and you're going to have to do some sniffing and some digging because some of them might not be what they seem. All right, let's see here. Ooh, we have Shamael beginnings coming through. Again, this card came out for, I think, the 2nd house. And then we have, I don't think I've ever seen this card before. We have the divine fruit. As I work to improve and free myself, I strengthen my foundations. My intellect is light, my heart is warm, and my soul is strength. I am nurtured by the divine sun. The fruit I bear reflects my inner light. Okay, so definitely businesses, business ideas, business ventures taking off for those of you that have this placement. So if things have been kind of stagnating on a business front or in terms of relationships, by primarily relationships in regards to business or business ventures, they're going to be taking off during this transit with divine fruit here. I'm getting the sense that a lot of you are going to be moving out of this darkness down here into this light and reaping rewards. And we have Shamael with beginnings over here. For some of you, with this person walking away, you're going to have to walk away from certain opportunities that sound too good to be true because they're not meant for you. They are simply distractions. And if you're getting an opportunity come your way and you're like, Leah, I'm not sure what to do about this, if it's meant for me, pay attention to your first bodily reactions to something. If something sets off an alarm bell in your head right from the get-go, chances are there might be something off. Notice how your gut responds to the opportunity being presented. Does your gut tighten or is it relaxed? Because your gut is an emotional processing center and is often the first part of us to respond to a situation. So really tuning into the center when opportunities are presented to you is going to be helpful to know if it's meant for you or not. Because even though there's like, look at these stars here, they look all shiny and attractive, there's something bigger meant for you on the horizon over here. But the divine is going to be testing you at this time to see, are you going to buy in to these opportunities that are too good to be true and that might not actually be real? Or are you going to be patient and wait to receive this divine blessing that's coming for you on the horizon here? As I work to improve and free myself, I strengthen my foundations. So for a lot of you, your discernment is going to be sharpening during this transit. You're going to be learning how to really see things for what they are. And again, I'm getting the clear message that this is part of your soul path. This has been divinely orchestrated for you, and it is to sharpen and attune your discernment even more. The divine is going to put on your path these opportunities that are actually not meant for you, to know if you're going to trust your instincts and your discernment. And they are going to be little tests. So if you're feeling that the universe is testing you starting yesterday up until February 4th, it's because the universe is going to be testing you. And it's so you can reap this fruit back here. My intellect is light. My heart is warmth and my soul is strength. You're going to be cultivating deeper balance between your mind, soul, and your heart during this time. And it's understanding that these opportunities that are going to be coming your way, there is going to be alignment between your mind, your heart, and your soul. If there's no alignment between these three parts of you, that's a key indicator that this opportunity is not right for you. So to really pay attention to how you feel and if there's alignment. I am nurtured by the divine sun. This is another kind of insight for those of you that are more kind of attuned spiritually or kind of more into the esoteric side of things. Is there sunlight on the day this opportunity comes through for you, or is it raining? That might also be another marker to know if this opportunity is right for you or not. Sunlight, or seeing a physical sun somewhere, like the sun emoji. Paying attention to these different symbols and synchronicities being displayed by the universe is going to help you to hash out and know if these opportunities are right for you. The fruit I bear reflects my inner light. So we can't talk about inner light without talking about integrity over here. The opportunities coming on your path, they're going to also challenge and test your integrity and your sense of self. Do you need to cut down parts of who you are, or can you fully show up exactly as you are with all your quirks, your weirdness, your gifts, your abilities, or do you need to cut yourself down to fit a certain opportunity? That, again, is another indication that this opportunity might not be for you. So as I said, with all the cards that kind of flew out everywhere when I began this reading, there's going to be a lot of opportunities coming through, but you're going to have to be able to filter through them and know if they're meant for you. And the ones that are, you're just going to feel it. And it's going to illuminate this light and this path forward for you. And it's going to be effortless and easy as well. You're not going to have to struggle, and it's not going to be a challenge. Whatever's meant for you is just going to effortlessly flow into your life. And in terms of final message for those of you that have this placement, having a significant partnership with someone might also be supportive for you at this time. So if there's a specific business venture you've been thinking about and you find it too overwhelming to kickstart by yourself, being open to having a partner come in and help you might be the solution you're looking for. But again, practice discernment as you look for this person. All right, so that's all I'm getting for Gemini in the 7th house or Jupiter in this house. Feel free to let me know how that resonates. But before we close out, blessing from Jupiter. Let's see. We have money. So there's definitely money coming your way for those of you that have this placement or for who this resonates. But again, be discerning. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. But money is the blessing that will be coming your way during this transit. All right. So now we are moving into Gemini in the 8th house and or having Jupiter in this house. So let's see. I'm curious to know if anything's going to be revealed to me today, because the 8th house is the house of secrets. It is a hidden house. It is a house alongside the 12th house that can be hard to tap into, because it's usually for the soul themselves to tap into and figure out. But let's see here. Okay. We have Zavkael, surrender. And we have balance. I find a balance between each sphere of my life. I am the master of my daily life. I make time to nourish the spiritual and the physical. I bring love to my world by fulfilling the needs of my body and soul. So it's interesting. I'm already picking up different energies, and the cards so far for most of the houses have been confirming one another. We've been seeing the same colors in both the cards, but in these cards, the colors are completely different. We have yellow and orange in one, and then we have purple in the other. So I'm kind of feeling two very distinct energies coming through for those of you that have this placement. On one hand, we have that kind of strong masculine energy coming through with this card, encouraging you to surrender more to your life. And with the balance card here, I'm also feeling masculine energy, but it's a very subtle masculine energy, very ethereal. Just getting a call. It's that for now. Call them back after. But yes, very ethereal kind of energy coming through here. So for those of you that have this placement, you might be feeling kind of internal conflict at this time with these different energies coming through, but it's knowing that they're not complete opposites. We can see the energy here reaching out to this one. So maybe you found yourself more so in this energy than this one and you want to be over here, or maybe you're more over here and want to be over there. All right, so let's see what else I'm picking up for this house. So already there's big activations that want to take place for those of you that have this placement here. And they're activations that are going to be happening in different chakras. So it's interesting, we have this star here that seems to be almost in line with the heart chakra, but it's red. So we could think of the root chakra. And then we have orange over here, which is the sacral chakra. So there's different activations. And then over here we have purple, which is the crown chakra, but it also has an indigo color to it. So it could be the third eye chakra. So the different activations that want to come through for those of you that have this placement, and the general themes during this transit are going to be the need to surrender, and I'm picking up that it's going to be the need to surrender into balance. So any old way you've been living your life up until this point that hasn't been serving you needs to go. It needs to be released so more balance can be cultivated, because I'm picking up that even though the 8th house tends to be a very secretive, hidden house, there's a lot of disbalance that's been happening within your life. And the divine is coming through to purify you of that disbalance, but you need to allow the divine space to do their work. The divine is going to come through and give you those insights. But you need to be open to them. And you need to be open to reconfiguring your life as well and having more balance. And it's interesting because this card talks about balance between each sphere of your life. It also talks about nourishing the spiritual and the physical. So again, there needs to be balance between the spiritual realm and the physical realm. And you have Archangel Zavkiel coming through to say you need to surrender to this need for balance. You need to release your old ways of living and being. And I'm hearing that this rebalancing that's going to be taking place, this has been orchestrated by your soul. You've maybe been living in an unhealthy lifestyle up until this point, but your soul is going to be activating energies within you for you to fall and surrender into balance again. Because I'm picking up that for a lot of you that have this placement, Gemini in the 8th house and or Jupiter here, there's a strong disbalance somewhere in your life. And it's time for you to rectify it during this transit and really get to the root cause of this balance. And you can really see this person here. They seem to be very liberated in their surrendering. And this is what you're going to be experiencing during this transit. And it's this act of surrender that's going to be leading to this balance over here. And there's going to be a rebalancing when it comes to feeding your body and your soul and figuring out what kind of nourishment you need. So for some of you, you might be exploring different diets. You might be exploring different foods. You might explore also different spiritual practices. And it's a matter of being open to these different ways of being, and to not be discouraged if things don't work for you right away. If you're not seeing the results you want, be patient with yourself and be kind. There's a huge transformation that's going to be taking place, and you're really going to be seeing the results of this transformation in February into March of next year. And you're being asked to commit to your body and your soul. All right, we're going to pick a blessing here. Ooh, we have wish fulfillment. So I'm hearing that, like, again, this disbalance that has been happening within your life and lifestyle is going to be rectified. And if it's a wish you've made a long time ago, it is going to be fulfilled. So those are the messages I'm getting for the 8th house. Feel free to let me know how that resonates or doesn't resonate. I'm actually going to take a quick little break, and I will be right back to finish the 9th through the 12th house. So hopefully you'll join me back here in a couple minutes.